right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wrestling is My Thing podcast. It's your boy Reek, and joining me today, man, I really want to welcome my boy, Huge Pop. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Just chilling here, relaxing, loving wrestling, loving life. Thank you for having me on your show, man.
Oh no, I appreciate you coming. Appreciate you coming. Now let's get right into it. Everybody knows what's going on. What we're going to talk about: SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
So we're going to start it off with the first match.
Okay.
Logan Paul, Ricochet. Now, Logan Paul and Ricochet, I got to say there was three matches that I felt like really stole the show. And Logan Paul and Ricochet's match really was up there. I mean, there was so many wow moments in that match.
100%. 100%. I could not agree with you more.
Logan Paul, to me, just kind of showed why he deserves to be there. You know, because everybody doubts him. They're like, oh, you're just a YouTube star. But he showed them, said, nope, this is why I deserve to be here.
And I agree 100%, man.
Oh, go ahead.
I think people need to take him serious. I think he's a great performer. I did notice that he was wearing his headband, i.e., thank you, Miz. That was pretty funny to me.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't help but notice, Reek, that his gear was yellow and black.
Mm-hmm.
And so was Ricochet's wife's dress was yellow.
Yeah.
I seen that. I was like, I think let's play a husband-wife angle on this, because they remember back on, I think, Monday Night Raw or Friday the week before, Logan Paul mentioned to Ricochet, I'm going to take your wife home too, or something like that.
She's going to be saying my name at the end of the match.
Absolutely. And so it's like, okay, so I don't know if it was a giveaway. To me, I was like, yep, she's wearing yellow. He's wearing yellow.
But I was trying to look at that in two different ways, because like you were saying, they both were wearing the same, but Logan Paul usually does represent the yellow and the black gear. But she did have a yellow dress on. And then I said, well, what if they're going to use that angle where, you know, Logan's trying to move in on Samantha there, so kind of irritate the crap out of Ricochet.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, and but it was a good match, to be honest with you. When you have two guys like that, I mean, let's face it, everybody says, yeah, Logan Paul's our YouTube hero, blah blah blah. He's only YouTube. Well, let's be honest. He has put his work in, and he knows what he's doing.
Exactly. And, you know, he's really learned how to get the crowd behind him.
Yes, 100%.
Not behind him, but to hate him. He's used that motivation. And the brass knuckles at the end, oh, man, that was just the icing on the cake. Everybody was already starting to boo him, but when he pulled that out.
And that was my only part that I didn't like about the whole match.
Mm-hmm.
Is, and I get, you and I talked earlier today or later that night. I get it. Now that makes Ricochet look strong, because he had to beat him with the brass knucks. So I get that. But I would love to see Logan Paul win clean, because now we're going to be bitching about how he won. And he's not good. He's not this. He's money. Let's face it.
He is. He really is.
When you hear Jake Paul and Logan Paul, what do you think? Superstars. Arrogant assholes on YouTube. These arrogant assholes started really young. And now what are they doing? One's boxing MMA fighters, which, whatever that is. And Logan Paul is wrestling in WWE. I mean, you can't take anything away from them, really.
No, you really can't knock them, because, you know, they may talk crap, but they back it up.
100%.
They really do back it up. And I love how Logan just did his match, immediately got on the plane, flew out to his brother's fight.
Right. I mean, yeah, that was epic. That was good. I'm not upset about the win. I'm not upset about who won it. WWE, Vince, if he's still around, Tripp, if he, you know what he's doing, they're smart. If there's not, if they get rid of him or get him off, that'd be the dumbest thing, because he's a draw.
Yeah, Logan brings money and he
Mhm.
puts butts in seats.
Yep.
That just end of the line right there. And they understand it's a business game.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely. 100%. So
you
I was
want to
not
bring the
shocked.
crowd.
Was not shocked whatsoever by that. I would probably rank it up there as one of the best matches of the night. I mean,
It really, I just sat there, was like, wow, okay, the first match, man, the first match, and this is awesome.
yeah,
And I really think the way they ended it is going to bring a Logan and Ricochet part two.
right. Oh, absolutely.
You just have to,
Right.
because
Yeah.
that's not right. But did you notice the Logan Paul did the Braun Strowman power slam?
Yes. Yes. What about that Spanish fly off the top of the apron? That was, I
That was
mean,
sick,
and
man.
they almost didn't get it, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah. But
So,
that's where the athleticism of Logan and the creativity of Ricochet, they made that happen.
right. Absolutely. And that frog splash, he got ungodly amount of height on that. Of course,
Yeah.
but we expected that because of the collision and at WrestleMania, I think they had off the top ropes. Right.
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. I mean,
Yep.
who did not expect that kind of atmosphere, that type of energy, that type of moves? Those guys, they started, like you said, Royal Rumble, right?
Yep.
They built this match. They knew what they're doing back at Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
to have this match at SummerSlam. So, I mean, that's, again, we say that the only storyline that WWE is good at is the bloodline because that's what's hot. But I believe Tripp, Shawn, Vince, wherever, they had this story. They had ideas of Ricochet and Logan Paul at SummerSlam back at Royal Rumble, if that makes any sense.
Oh no, they did. They really did. Because you have two athletic high flyers,
Yes.
and once again, Logan is just, for somebody who's, we call green, he's up here.
Yeah.
When normally he should be down here. And you got Ricochet up here, so you knew that would be a great match. They saw that from the get-go. And that's what I really miss. Sometimes they do it, but they don't do it all the times when they build a match. You
Right.
remember when The Rock and Cena, they built that WrestleMania match for a whole year.
Yes.
For a whole year, just built it. And so when it came, you just couldn't wait to watch it.
Correct. And I'll tell you what, when they got put on that SummerSlam card, I was like, yep, that's going to be good.
Exactly, man. So yeah, that match, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best matches of the night, if not the best.
Now, I would say this. My brother and I talked Friday afternoon about the card being not as good as we thought it would be. But after watching the whole thing, I was impressed with what they put out.
Mm-hmm. The only match I was very disappointed in not seeing was, I thought it should have been a SummerSlam match, was AJ against Karrion.
Yeah, I didn't like them in that Rumble or over the top battle royal. I didn't like that. There were a lot of guys in there that I thought could have. But Tripp is trying to get. I would hope that he does the same thing for WrestleMania. I don't like 2-night WrestleManias. I think it takes away from the. I mean, you have so much. You have to make 2 days.
Yes.
But I think what happened with that, they have all these people. Again, here's a good reason why maybe they do have 2-day WrestleMania. Because you had, 20 people in that ring, 20 men?
Mm-hmm.
Better up. A lot of them were superstars.
Yes.
Let's face it. I mean, shoot, we had AJ was in there. You had
Karrion. Yeah, Matt Riddle. LA Knight.
LA Knight, yeah.
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory was in it.
The U.S. champ was in there.
I mean, come on. Why? Because you didn't have enough room on SummerSlam card.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great. So, yeah.
And that's why I do understand in a way why they do a 2-night WrestleMania.
Correct. Yes.
Because you have so many superstars, you can't fit them all in one show like you used to be able to.
Yes.
And now you got way too much talent and you don't want to waste it.
Right. On pay-per-views, I agree with the WrestleMania being so long, 2 days. Now, if on Raw, no, if you got all this talent, you're not even using the talent and you're trying to fill 3 hours. So there's a difference between a 3-hour Raw and a 2-day WrestleMania. just the stuff.
Exactly. And so let's to follow that matchup, we have Cody Rhodes against the Beast.
Yes.
And Brock did what Brock does.
Brock did what
He
Brock
slowed
does.
that tempo down, and he just crushed them. But man, you have got to give it to Cody. You really have got to give it to him. He stayed with them. He stayed that pace with Brock.
Yeah.
And he showed him, I can play your game too.
Yes. That was good. It was a good match. Of course, Brock came out, F5, 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 suplex everywhere, through the announce table, blah, blah, blah. Cody hit the Cody cutter. He had his moment to shine. And, ultimately, it's Cody Rhodes needed to win at SummerSlam so he could move on to what story he needs to be really in.
Yeah, and that's why I have so much respect for Brock, because he understands the game. Yes. And he didn't complain. He said, no, this guy needs to go over, because if you look at it, Brock doesn't need to go over. He really doesn't. Let's help out the next guy. Let's give him that push.
Right. If Brock loses, you're still putting butts in seats. That's still another guy that is money. Let's face it. Fans love to see Brock Lesnar do what Brock Lesnar does.
Exactly.
And let's sell tickets. Let's bring him in. I think that's what they did with Goldberg for a while, until Goldberg got so old it was dumb. I hope the ending of that match solidified Brock's career being done in WWE.
I don't think it's done, because if I remember correctly, I saw something that he is advertised for the next pay-per-view. I believe I did see that.
Okay, because go ahead.
All right, because that's what we all thought. First of all, he takes the gloves off. Now, the first thought that came to my head is, my man's ready for a real fight. But second of all, it was okay. Is kind of like Brock doing like what Taker did, take off his gear and leave it in the ring.
Yeah.
He shook his hand and gave him a hug, but I think he was just giving him that respect. Like, you've earned my respect.
Right. Well, yeah. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen what would be, I think Payback's next. I haven't seen anything about that card. I kind of I'm okay with him being on another card, but I kind of think I kind of think it destroys what they did at the end of this SummerSlam, because it was almost a stamp on Brock Lesnar doing what he did. Class man. Let's leave him as a classy man, leaving the ring. Because let's truthfully know, he doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to do this again. I mean, this guy has been around for a while. Exactly. So I'd be interested to see what they're going to put him in again next. So
yeah, and that's I don't know what else you would want to do with Brock, because he's done it all. Literally done it all.
Yeah, I mean,
that's.
My fear is if they overdo it like they did with Goldberg.
And they really did when they had him. Remember when he came back and they gave him the belt had him win it, and I was like, why'd you have him win it?
Right. Why? Yeah.
It just, to me, it made no sense at all.
No, absolutely.
No, maybe. It's just kind of stories. Maybe he's not going to be on that Payback.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see, man. But Cody Rhodes, what do you see in the stars for Cody now?
He made himself look strong. I mean, he did 3 Crossroads back to back. Obviously, you're gonna have to put him in a program to win the big belt. My problem is, I say it every week. I'll say it till the sun goes down. My problem is, WWE messed up the first time when they brought in Cody Rhodes in the beginning. I think they went down the wrong direction. I've been reading, Cody Rhodes is fine with that. Cody Rhodes was okay. He was part of the decision to go in different angles.
That's what I heard too.
I mean, so if he's okay with it, good, then that's great. But he's ultimately going to win the title his daddy didn't.
Mhm.
It's in the. It's in this. I could write that.
Yeah.
If they don't do that, that's ignorance.
Yeah, if they don't do that, that'd be the dumbest decision in the world. I
Right.
mean, you brought Cody back for a reason,
Right.
and Cody even said, he's okay with waiting. He
Yeah.
to bring him back and immediately win the title. No, you want to build that up.
Well, with that being said, there's probably 4 or 5 pay-per-views up until WrestleMania. And you're gonna see different people. I can name a list. You can see Gunner, not Gunner, but you're gonna see Damian Priest. You're gonna see Jimmy Uso. You're gonna see Solo Sikoa. You're gonna see Drew McIntyre and maybe one other go after Roman Reigns leading up into WrestleMania season. And then I believe that's when the feud with Cody Rhodes is going to start at the beginning of the year of next year, leading into summer into WrestleMania. So I think the big plan is WrestleMania. And I think he'll probably, I think at WrestleMania, he'll beat Hogan's record, I believe, by that time. I think maybe close to it.
Actually, I think it might be before WrestleMania. He'll beat Hogan's record.
And that's all he really wants. That's all that really matters. I mean, because there's no way possible. I think it's 2028. He'd have to have Roman Reigns have to have the title until to beat Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, that's
stupid. Why that? Don't even go after. That's dumb. And and Roman Reigns has made it clear he's done. He needs a break, and he does. He needs a break. And so I guess to answer your question, I see him in a title picture, but not just yet. Where he goes from here up until then, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big toss up, man. I'm just not sure where he's going to go, but we do know he's going for a title. But here's to say where if he goes for a title, someone else doesn't come out and interrupt and then starts a feud with him again.
Right, that's true.
Hey. So I was going to touch on another subject, but I'll wait because I want to talk about this 20. It was a 25-man battle royal.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Let me talk to you. Man, I was just I jumped up. I was so excited that he finally won it because I understand you don't need to put the belt on him, but you can't have him lose all the time.
Correct.
You just can't, man.
Correct. You can't.
Especially he just became the #1 merchandise seller over Roman Reigns. Yeah. That's huge. That's huge right there.
Yes. Well, I was like, when Escobar got dumped over the top rope, I thought about you. I was like, oh, there goes Rico's guy, Escobar. Yeah.
It's like, man.
And they had guys that I was like, why are they here? Omos, why is he there? I get it, he's a big man, and I was like, I hope to God, because he started throwing people over. I'm like, oh,
yeah, he did.
What are we gonna do? What? Do not tell me I'm gonna have an Omos as a Slim Jim Battle Royal champ person, but
no, they used them like they use the big guys. Go ahead, toss a couple people around, beat some people up, and then everybody's going to team up and throw you out.
Yep, and that was a jam-packed battle royal. I mean, you had AJ Styles, you had Karrion Kross, Bronson Reed, Sheamus, LA Knight. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I think it set up some possible feuds for LA Knight, some good ones. I mean, an obvious one is Sheamus and LA Knight. I mean, those are some heavy hitters. But I would not be surprised if they put LA Knight into some kind of title reign, or maybe now he's Monday Night Raw, or he's on SmackDown, right?
SmackDown.
So Theory's on Raw, right?
Theory's actually on
SmackDown
because Gunther's on Raw.
So that would be a good one. I think Theory and LA Knight would be acceptable for me. I'm not a fan of Theory, so I'd love to see LA Knight beat his ass. So I'm okay with that. So that might be a good idea.
But because Theory's good, he's got a good following. But I think that I have a gut feeling they may put Santos over and have him win, because remember they have that title match coming up.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind Santos Escobar being the champion. I'm okay with that.
Him against LA Knight. I want to see that.
That would be good.
That would be very good right there.
You know, Ciampa, he had a good thing. You know, Bronson Reed had a good thing. They all looked good. So it was nothing. I mean,
Miz,
the Miz was, it was so packed. But and again, I thought it was a joke at first. Let's make something so these people. There we go again. Let's talk about why we have this battle royal. We have this battle royal because you're a jam packed roster at both shows, and why not? And it did better than I thought it would. So
yeah, they made it entertaining because at first you're just like, man, that is too crowded.
Yes.
But then once again, you know, hey, let's bring Almost in, and boom, people just start getting tossed out. You start clearing the room, and
right
now you got some room to actually do some things.
Absolutely correct, 100%.
But yeah, I gotta say, because Shinsuke was in there, man, and I really think Shinsuke gets played dirty. That's just me personally, man.
I mean, I can remember when he came out, everybody loved his music. Popped.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee. Yeah, come on, get into it.
Yeah. Is he coming back?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything whether Pat's coming back or not.
Okay.
Yeah. Why?
But no, man, Shinsuke, when he would come out, he'd get that pop and he would get stuff going. He'd get that crowd moving. And people still.
I was doing this, and my wife was going, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm just doing the Pat McAfee. I'm doing the Pat McAfee. Don't clip that, please.
But you know, he still gets the crowd behind him.
Absolutely.
I just don't think he gets that push, you know. And he's very talented, but here's the problem. Once again, we have so many talented superstars.
Yep.
You know, like Ciampa.
Yeah.
I would really like to see Ciampa do something because he is good.
Yep. I think he's one of those guys that, you know, they bring him onto the roster. Then you're like, what are we going to do with him? And then you put him in backstage segments, and you're like, why? You might as well kept him on NXT because he was brilliant on NXT.
He was NXT for a while. He really was. Him and Adam Cole.
Yep.
When Adam Cole left, you know, he still was. Yeah, baby. Oh, man, we'll have to sometime soon get on some AEW talk.
Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, Ciampa was, you know, to me, he was the face of the NXT, the golden black brand.
100%.
And so you move him up, and he just does nothing.
Does nothing. And that's my struggle with the draft and moving guys to the main roster. Grayson Waller, a good example. Yeah, he was rumored to be hurt, but now he's not. And now you're still not doing anything with him. You got Tommaso Ciampa. You got Karrion Kross. You got all these guys we just named were brilliant in NXT. Now they're here on the main roster going, you know,
what do I do with you?
Just like the guy from Chad Gable. That was it's wasted talent. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's good in the ring. I mean, come on. But so now you got him with fat ass Otis, and I'm like, why? And that gimmick is so dumb, and I'm like, oh my god. I don't know.
That's yeah, Chad Gable, man, he's pretty sweet. He really is, man. I think he's underestimated.
Absolutely. Shush, please.
Underrated, I'll say. Sorry.
Shush, please.
Yeah. Shush, please.
Shush, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, he cracks me up. To me, he's come around because at first I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
But he really he sticks with you.
100%, man. 100%.
So when we were talking about Brock and stuff and kind of laying down the gloves, thinking he's walking away, we pretty much saw that with Ronda.
Yes.
Ronda is walking away because she stated herself, she's done everything she needed to do in WWE. She don't need to do anymore. She really doesn't.
It's time to go home and be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm okay with that because this MMA, this last bit of Ronda Rousey with Shayna Baszler as a team and stuff, I was not a fan of it. Others might have liked it. but I was not a fan of that Ronda Rousey. Again, I'll say I was a fan of Ronda Rousey, the one that came in with The Rock and got pulled over the rope, over the barricade to go confront Stephanie and Triple H.
Hip toss Triple H.
Yeah, that was the Ronda Rousey I liked.
Mm-hmm.
She was the Piper-esque Ronda Rousey, the rowdy one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when she got pregnant and she left, they came back. They didn't know what to do with her, and they put her in this dark, weird character, and I didn't like it. So, but it's her time. It's her time. I mean, she gave WWE what they needed, what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
WWE gave her what she wanted. You know, and it's good to see girls and guys like come from MMA over to here and do that. Just what they do if they're good.
You know, and you know, without a doubt, at least what I was thinking when I saw Shayna and Ronda tagging together, I already knew what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah.
Let's get these two to separate and fight each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you have two good MMA fighters,
correct,
in a wrestling ring. Let's put them against each other. Now, I wasn't that big of a fan of the match just because it was an MMA rules match.
Yes.
So, being an MMA fan, I'm ready to see some blood. I'm ready to see some hits. And they took a couple of shots at each other, but it was more of wrestling. But it wasn't a very good match.
Right.
And I just feel for Ronda, for being her final match, I just thought that they should have did better for her.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I get that. So speaking of MMA, speaking of MMA, let's talk a little bit real quickly about your thoughts of the outcome of Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz in the boxing. Did you watch any of that, first of all?
I did not. I watched little highlights of it. But to answer your question, Jake Paul, this is just the way I look. I could be completely wrong. So people, you can correct me if you want. But Jake Paul is in that boxing mode. Nate Diaz is in that MMA mode. 100%. It was the same result when you had Conor go against Floyd. Even though Floyd was retired, he's still a boxer. He's quick to adapt back to that boxer mode. Conor's MMA fighter. There is a difference. You do use boxing in MMA, but when you just have to strictly do boxing, now you're throwing them off their game.
Right.
It's, their striking's a little bit different because now they can't do leg kicks, and it's a different beast for them.
Correct.
But I did hear that Jake was saying, "Hey, let's do this MMA style."
Right. So what happened was, of course, Nate in his MMA mode, he was getting beat up a little bit, so he grabbed a hold of Logan by the leg, but had to let go. That's in the first round, and you can tell he was uncomfortable. You can tell he's an MMA fighter. My thing is, I'm glad Logan or Jake Paul said, let's go into your house. I'll give you $10 million to bring me in your house. And I'm like, and so Nate goes, well, F yeah. He's like, dude, I'll do it. He'd be stupid not to.
Exactly. But this is where I feel like, Jake, if you can hear me, I'm just a little guy way down here, but bro, you're stepping in a different field now.
Dude, he messed
this
up.
Isn't just, you've got the stamina, you've got the athleticism, you've got the punching power, but now you get to add chokes, arm bars, leg kicks, and you are just going to be in a different field, man.
Jake, I agree, man. I agree, Reek. Jake, I think this time you bit off more than you could chew. First of all, no, dude. First of all, you lost to a fighter the first time you fought a fighter in Fury. I mean, you fought a football player, a basketball player, a wrestler. You didn't fight a fighter until you fought Fury, and he kicked your ass. Okay? Now you went up against another MMA guy, and yeah, sure, you beat him. But Diaz will take him out in a minute. That won't go more than one round. There's no way.
No, I always give him 2. I give him 2.
Diaz is nasty. I don't care if people say he's high on he smoked he smoked before he went down. I don't care. That boy, when you get him in his ring, it's on.
Nate Diaz is a beast, and I love when he gets in that beast mode.
Oh, dude, he's gonna tear Jake up. Anyway, back to the SummerSlam. But one more thing before we go. The Paul brothers are great athletes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not great athletes, dude. Sometimes I'm jealous of what they were able to accomplish. Two YouTube creators. Now they're doing big things, and they put into it. Don't get me wrong. Both of them work their asses off. So Jake Paul and Logan Paul, you guys work your asses off. Continue doing it because you are making waves.
Yep.
But I think if he's making a big mistake, I think going into the octagon. That's not the same. Like you just said, it's not. In a square circle, you can swing punch, you can throw punches, and that's all you do. But when you get Nate Diaz in that octagon, forget about it.
Yeah. Because now you got to think about a guy, in a boxing ring, you can kind of back up a little bit. And you kind of at least shove them off a little bit. Now you got to think about a guy hanging on your back possibly while you're on the ground, just purposely laying his weight on you to tire you out. Yeah. And while he's laying on you, he's going to be cracking you in your head.
100%.
Right in the ribs. And I feel for him. Yep. I really do.
100%.
But if that fight does happen, I have to watch it live.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Well, let's get back to the WWE world, man. Yeah. And let's talk about Gunther and Drew McIntyre. That was one of the other matches I felt like stole the show. Those two behemoths just.
When you put them Masters of the Chop, the only thing missing was Sheamus. But
yeah.
Those dudes hit hard, dude. I don't care what you call it, fake bull. You're getting hit.
It's like, okay, people out there who say wrestling's fake. Yes, we know there are, fake hits, fake this, fake that, whatever. But you can see the bruises on these men. When they take body slams, their backs actually hit. They hurt. Jumping off the top rope, that hurts. It's not a padded cushion that they're just falling on. So when you have Drew McIntyre picking up Gunther and back suplexing him across the ring, that hurts.
Absolutely. Those guys,
these two men demolished each other.
Yep. And they pride their style after the hard hitting physical brutality. That's what they're known for. The only thing I found was weird about this whole thing was there was no pyros did you notice there was no pyros for Drew McIntyre?
Mm-hmm.
No sword into the ground, he just comes out and like, what? Kind of was different,
Mm-hmm.
And but they hit hard, power bomb after power bomb. And what I liked about this match the most was it was clean. No interference, no nothing. Gunther, McIntyre, winner it, and it was just, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way it should have been. That's the way it needed to be because you didn't need interference in this match.
No, you
These two guys can hold it down by themselves.
100%.
And so now you have Gunther, who won the match. Current. I think he's about to pass the Honky Tonk Man, if I remember correctly.
Yes. I'm not sure how close he is, but I'm sure, pretty close.
Yeah. He's about to pass the Honky Tonk Man, and there's where is he going to do it, or is someone going to dethrone him?
No one's going to dethrone him. See, that's the thing. I was talking to my brother on Friday. They got it's going to be a while before you see Rhea Ripley, lose. We talked about Charlotte Flair winning to tie. I think she's tied with her dad or something.
She's got 15.
And he has 16, correct?
Yes.
People were saying that she should have won at SummerSlam, so she gets that 16th title, and then to tie her dad at least. But that didn't happen, obviously. But there's a lot of Gunther so close to the Honky Tonk Man's title, record. Something about breaking records for WWE this year is what they're shooting for. So no one's going to beat him until he breaks that record. Just let's face it.
Pretty much.
I mean, I don't know how close he is. I don't know how many more days he is away, but and now after you see, it's a shame because once that record's broke and they take the belt off of him, it's a shame because he's good.
Oh, he is good.
He's really good. He's one of the more believable people to beat Roman Reigns if that was ever to happen.
Well, that's what, if you listen to the talks, that's what one of the things they were leaning towards possibly is Gunther against Roman, because he's taken down all these big men who have come after him.
Yeah.
And he's proven his worth. So why not have him going against the biggest one of all?
Right. And don't take this wrong. Anybody that's out there listening, we talked about Cody Rhodes and what's next. And I said that it looks like they're setting up for WrestleMania. But I may be the only one, but my opinion, Gunther seems more powerful and more of the better choice to dethrone Roman Reigns than Cody Rhodes. If you look at it, Cody Rhodes has lost a couple times. He, all this. Sure, he won last on Saturday, whatever. But strong wise, more realistic wise, I feel Gunther would be a better choice to take out Roman Reigns. And then maybe Cody Rhodes can come in and take out Gunther or something like that. I just think Gunther is strong. Gunther is huge. Gunther is
very strong.
Gunther is what he does. I mean, Gunther wins by himself.
That's what I love about him. Like, he has his lackeys with him, but he doesn't need them.
Yep.
And he's proven it time and time again, pay-per-view after pay-per-view. I don't need you to help me win. I can do this myself.
Right. I mean, them boys, shoot, did you see the McIntyre's chest, the first chop? That good man. I'm like, what?
Man, those chops.
Are you kidding me? Come on. No. I'd love to sit in a room full of people that say it's fake and lay out those chops left and right and tell me it's fake. But that McIntyre's chest was beat red.
Well, if you look, Gunther's was too.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of welts all over his chest.
Yes. And so they hit. So anyway.
But I see Gunther possibly dethroning Roman. If they go that way.
If they go that way.
If they go, or he could, because he's on Raw, he could go after the World Heavyweight Championship.
Now, that would be okay with that too.
I don't know. Me being a Seth fan, I don't know, man. I don't want him to. But I understand, like, Gunther would beat him and take it from him.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, I was thinking about this. I couldn't remember who was the last person to hold the Intercontinental and the World title.
I don't know.
I really don't remember who that was. I have to look at it and stuff, but wouldn't that be nice? I thought that would be nice if Gunther could pull that off.
Yeah.
Just to show his dominance.
That'd be good, yeah.
And then you use that momentum going against Roman Reigns.
100%. 100%. Yep.
So what do you think about a future for Drew?
I've heard he was on his way out anyway. I'd be okay with him showing up over in okay, let's go. All right. I don't know if it's even possible. I don't know if his contract's up. I don't know what. Let's do this. I'm willing to put some I want to put money on it, but part of my mind says, where is AEW's big pay-per-view going to be?
UK.
Okay, Wembley, right? Wembley Stadium. Isn't Drew from over in the UK?
I believe so, yep.
All right. pay-per-views are known for big pops, big appearances. I would not be surprised if Drew McIntyre is over in AEW for that at that pay-per-view.
If that happens, that would be insane. You would then. I mean, AEW is already kind of up here. You would then push him up higher because
he would make an impact on that.
Roster.
There's so many other places you could go. You could go to Impact. You could go to ROH, and both those shows are moving on. Are doing good. I wouldn't be surprised if he's over in AEW before the year's over.
Yeah, I don't want to see it because I don't want to lose Drew. But on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, I'd kind of like to see that.
So there's a statement I'll make on that. As a wrestling fan, you wouldn't lose Drew. You just watch him somewhere else.
True. Very true.
If we're wrestling fans, we're not going to complain about AEW and compare the two. We're just going to watch wrestling for watch wrestling. So I'd be all right with it being over AEW.
No, I would too. I mean, honestly, I really would. So carrying on, we talked about this. We've been talking about this. What is WWE doing with Finn Balor?
Well, yeah. WWE needs to make up their mind what they're going to do at the Judgment Day. Are they going to get him? Are they going to turn on Finn? What are they doing with him? I thought there was going to be a cash in at one point of that Seth Rollins match.
I thought at the end. Sorry, I thought at the end that was it. He's cashing in.
Yeah,
I really thought that was it.
Yeah, I don't know. Finn must be having a headache. He got his brains plopped into that steel, that metal box. But that was almost. It felt like it was forced. It felt like Damian Priest had to throw that case in, and I felt that match was ended weird. I don't know. I almost felt like people in the back were going, "Not now, not now, not now." And so I don't know, man.
Yeah, it did seem that way. And then when Damian went ahead and threw it in there, distracted the ref, and then obviously Finn got curb stomped on the briefcase, I was like, okay, that's gonna start Finn and Damian back up again.
Right.
Yeah. And I got a feeling that's what they're pushing for, because they're gonna go ahead and try to get Damian more ahead.
Right.
But once again, it's what are you going to do with Finn, man?
Right.
Are we going to bump him back down to like NXT like he did and just do sweet and be like, oh, we need to move this guy back up, move him back up, and then
they have to break that Judgment Day up, in my opinion, because again, I could say so much about the Judgment Day that Rhea Ripley didn't have a match at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Dom didn't have a match at SummerSlam.
He did at Bash at the Beach, though.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Okay, but you have you have a hot faction, and all you did is bring him in at the last of the Finn Balor Seth Rollins match, and then you didn't do nothing with a cash in. I don't know. I think that WWE is either going longer with the storyline, which is okay if it makes sense. So I think eventually you're going to see Finn Balor get exited out of the Judgment Day, and maybe he's done too. Maybe he's I don't know where his contract is. But it's a waste. Mm-hmm. It's a waste. That guy's talented.
And that's where I wonder where the rumors are true about Finn leaving and to take his place, Bray Wyatt. Because they're talking about Bray coming back, and there's talks. Remember, it's just rumors, but there's talks of him taking over the Judgment Day. But I thought about that, and I was like, it'd be sweet to have Bray back. Yes, let's get him back. But I don't think you need him in the Judgment Day.
No, you don't need him. But I would be okay with that. because I was talking earlier this week that I don't want the Fireflies Funhouse Bray to come back.
Mm-mm.
I want the cult leader Bray Wyatt to come back.
And that's what it is right there.
And if he comes back as a cult leader, part of the Judgment Day, I'm okay with that. Maybe he takes out Finn Balor and is the leader of the Judgment Day. Because right now I feel the Judgment Day is like spinning and waiting for direction. Just doing, and they're putting these into these senseless things, and they need to go further with this storyline. And and based on the ending of the main event, the Bloodline storyline is going to continue for a long time. But I don't know why WWE is stalling on the Judgment Day storyline. It should be easy. Damian Priest should be cashing in.
Should be.
Finn Balor should be, thumbs down like they did to Randy Orton of the Evolution. Something. Let's think of a bunch of other factions that broke up. Edge getting speared by or taken out by the Judgment Day. Yep. Could Edge be coming in as the ringleader of Judgment Day?
I don't know about that.
That'd be dumb.
Yeah.
But somehow they got to get Finn out of there, to be honest.
And that's where you could have, like we said, the cult leader Bray.
Yeah.
Because once it was Taker, Mark Calloway said it himself.
Yep.
If you bring Bray back, you need to bring Bray Wyatt back.
Yep.
Not the Fiend, which I love the Fiend, don't get me wrong. But you need to bring Bray Wyatt back.
Yes. Everybody, I believe all the fans want to see Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it too far-fetched? The Undertaker whispered in his ear, passing of the torch. Maybe Bray needs to come back, and I don't know. I bet you WWE is going to surprise us.
Oh, yeah. And that's where I will say I do like it better with the surprises. I've said it before, sometimes it's just nice not knowing.
Right.
You hear somebody maybe back, like it was proven that Randy Orton was backstage at SummerSlam, but you didn't know if he was going to do anything. And he didn't.
No.
And that's where it kept you on the edge, like, oh man, what's going to happen? That stuff is awesome.
Yep.
But when you kind of keep reading and hearing about what's going to happen, then it does happen. You don't have that surprise anymore.
Right. And that's what, I was talking to Herb Simmons about a week ago, promoter up in Illinois. He's worked with Harley Race and the Briscoes and all those guys. And he said the one thing that's destroying wrestling, he loves Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer's brilliant. But us fans when we didn't have internet, when we didn't have, all these websites. I mean, I'll even say this: it goes far as back as the Monday Night Wars.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have the dirt sheets.
Nope.
You watch Monday Night Wars, and like you said earlier, you flick back and forth, flip flop, because was Shane gonna come out? Was Vince what was gonna happen? What was NWO gonna make a sneak attack? What's gonna happen? So you always watched, and then next Monday you went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You wait until Monday. I can even remember we lived in Noblesville, Indiana, in an apartment complex. And Monday at about 5:00, I started talking about WCW and NWO. And I had to go. I went down 30 minutes before the show was done just to the event center to watch that show. That's what you got excited for, because there was no dirt sheets, And man, we're missing the boat. It's not Dave Meltzer's fault. It's not Cornette's fault. It's not any of these reporters' fault.
Social media. Us people that go on the social media. Mm-hmm.
If we don't want to hear about it or read about it, then don't read about it.
Yeah, like remember, because I said SummerSlam, it was so long, and I was just exhausted. I was like, I'm going to finish watching it tomorrow.
Yeah,
So I had to purposely not even touch my phone just to make sure, because I
right.
knew there would be just all kinds of,
Absolutely.
hey, check this out. You missed this. This is what's going on. And nah.
100%. Because, what do you do when you get up in the morning? Click. Oh, boop. Yeah.
Yep.
And you
You
the
see all
great
the
shit.
message, everybody talking about it. You're like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to
Oh,
see
dang
it.
it. Yeah. So,
But
yeah.
no, and that's the sad part, is we don't have that anymore. But it has slowly gotten that way a little bit again.
Yeah.
You still hear stuff, but it's, we still get surprises, and that's what's
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
So then sorry, my eye. How did you feel when Bianca won in the next match we're going to talk about? Asuka for Charlotte for Bianca for the women's championship.
The minute Bianca hurt her knee, I looked at my wife and I said, she's going to win it, and then they're going to cash in. That was so
set up.
Set up. If anybody disagrees with me that they didn't see that coming, you're an idiot.
Man, all I know is when her music hit, because I love EO, and I was just like, oh, yes, she is going to do it.
And yes. And those women went balls to the wall. They put on a great show.
They did.
Asuka's face paint was amazing. Did you notice that there's one part where I thought Charlotte, it looked like a wardrobe malfunction, because Charlotte had the referee tighten up her strap right here. Right after they did that, she did that backflip.
Oh.
But I got heat about this on my brother and I's show. I'm not a Charlotte Flair fan. I'm not. She's been around the business for long enough. She needs to go.
Oh no! See, my wife Lena loves Charlotte. She's the queen.
Needs to go. Needs to go home.
No, I believe they. I don't know when, but soon she will get that 16th title. She will.
But
I don't see her surpassing it, but I see her getting a 16th title.
You think she'll take it off EO, or do you think she'll go after off
Rhea?
Rhea? Now that's more believable.
That is. She has beaten Rhea.
Yeah. But no, when I seen Bianca Belair go down with that knee injury, I'm like, that's the only way. That's setting up for a cash in.
Now when Bianca was going towards the back, I said, I think it's just a ploy, but I didn't. I was like, if she goes back in that ring, then we know what's going on. And sure enough, when she started hobbling back, I was like, oh, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say that was the worst match of the night, because it wasn't by any means. But none of the matches really were bad. But it did everything that it was supposed to do.
Yep.
Showcase 3 top talents. I mean, I'm not saying Bianca Belair is a bad wrestler. Don't get that twisted. She just needs to turn heel. My brother said this, and I agree with him. She needs to turn heel. Well, I think she and join the newfound Hurt Business.
Well, see, that's what I was just about to say. You see how her husband and the Street Profits joined Bobby and turned heel.
That was badass. I love that.
I believe she's going to follow suit, because she's going to say, I'm getting tired of getting screwed over. Yes. Because this is where we can see it. So everybody can hear. If Bianca goes for a rematch and somehow gets screwed out of that rematch, watch that heel turn.
Yep.
Because she's going to be done.
Yep. 100%. I think she'd be great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I think she'd be great.
Without a doubt.
As a heel.
Mm-hmm. So. Like, I really love when Charlotte had Bianca in the figure 8.
Yes.
And you already knew Asuka was coming with that spray. I was like, oh, here she comes.
Dude.
She took it, though. She took it right in the face, and that was awesome. That's what I loved about it. It was no just little spray. It was all over her.
Yep. I was like, holy crap! When Charlotte was going to take both the girls into figure eight, I'm like, how the hell is she going to do that? And she almost pulled it off. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. But no, that, like you said, it wasn't the worst match. It wasn't up there as one of the best matches. But to me, it was a good match. You had 3 top talents who can put on a show, all 3 by themselves.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. But right there, I believe that will set up, because it's been talked about so many times. They want, and by they, I mean everybody, would love to have Charlotte against Bianca one-on-one at WrestleMania.
Yes, that'd be epic.
That would be an awesome match.
Yep. But there's got to be a title on the line somewhere.
I don't think a title is needed for that one right there.
Don't think so?
I really don't think so. Now, maybe Bianca gets it back and then they go at each other for it.
Charlotte beats her to break the record. I don't know.
Or to tie the record.
Maybe.
I mean, I could see that, but I don't think they need the title to make that match happen.
Right. Yeah, you might be right.
So let us move on to the creme de la creme.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. All I got to say is that one got me right. I had a feeling he was going to come, but I didn't know it was going to happen that way. Jimmy, why? I think that one shocked everybody.
It did. It shocked me. I mean, you knew someone was going to come and help. I mean, come on. Typical Roman Reigns match. He's not going to lose the belt. Let's face it. Not yet. I mean, my pick was for Jay to win it because I want to see the Tribal Chief dethroned. But first of all, when Jay came down to the ring with that white pants and his white lei, and he started doing the 3-1-3.
Mm-hmm.
That was sick. I mean, I could watch that all day long. That he's on the top rope and the fans are just going, and he's on 3-1-3, and I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
It was freaking lovely.
I mean, he had the whole thing. He had the ring rocking. He had the crowds just on their feet. It was just amazing, And then he put on a show. And let's talk about what about the Samoa drop through the table,
bro?
Dude, that was intense, man.
I thought for a second, I was like, "Ooh, did Jay really fall on his head like that?"
Yeah,
because if you notice, his head went down, and but man, was that sick.
They did again. I don't understand why WWE can do so good here and shitty over here.
Mm-hmm.
In that match, they set up 2, possibly 3 solid matches going forward. 2 at least.
Yep.
At Payback it's going to be Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. If you don't think so, then you're crazy. Because you're going to see on SmackDown, I'll call it. I'm just going to call it. SmackDown this week. Expect Solo Sikoa to take out Roman Reigns.
I was going to say confront him, but he may take him out. But yeah, you've seen it in his eyes.
Dude, he was touching this. He looked at Roman and he touched his stomach on, what?
Yeah, you speared me, fool.
What are you doing, dumbass? You see that. And then obviously it's going to be Jimmy and Jay at Payback. Oh, yeah, come on. That's just a given. And I was disappointed. I thought more of the Samoa family was going to be there, come down, something like that. Maybe it's not ready because this storyline is going to go on for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why they haven't come down yet.
Unfortunate for Cody Rhodes. It's not that time. It's not his time. And I think you're going to find a falling up. I think what you're going to see, this whole bloodline come full circle. And at WrestleMania, I'm just going to say this now. Remember when you were a kid in high school or in middle school and you got in a fight with somebody? And then you seen the people that got in a fight with each other are best friends afterwards. You remember that? You ever get that scenario?
Yep.
I think you're going to see at WrestleMania the Usos and the Roman Reigns and the Tribal Chief and that whole family is going to come together, and that's the only way I believe that Roman Reigns can beat Cody Rhodes. And if that happens, then there's another record for Roman Reigns to beat. That's why they give it to Roman. But anyways, that match was great. That match did everything they needed to do. That match was full of drama. That match was full of, and for the first time, Roman Reigns left the ring without Solo Sikoa.
Yep. And the match, I loved how it went because Roman kept it his pace, beat him down slow, methodically.
Yes.
But then Jay would turn it around and bring it up to his pace.
Right.
And I loved how it went back and forth. And
great storytelling.
That's what wrestling is right there. That's what it's supposed to be right there.
Roman Reigns at one point in time said, I don't want to do this. This is what we did with kids when we were kids. We beat each other up. And it's like from the start of the bell to the finish, they continued. The WWE did genius work. They know what they're doing on that storyline. So that you would think they'd know what to do with the rest of the show. But I'm not saying that the show is bad. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying this is the best storyline going.
It is,
and they know it. And they know it. Chairs, kendo sticks, fast pace, slow pace, fast pace, slow pace. Unfortunately, then Jimmy coming out and Solo getting involved and dragging. How about this? I thought this was great storytelling. Solo dragging Jay back to the ring on his back on the floor, like pulling him.
Yep.
Like he's dead, man. He's just we're done. And it's just awesome.
I love how they portrayed that right there. And Roman, man, just doing what he does and how he gets the crowd so involved.
Yep.
He keeps them involved.
Yep.
And as much crap that he talks to the crowd, look how many ones were being thrown up.
Yes. Jay had them all 3-1-3 and he comes down and he threw up the acknowledge me sign, and the crowd was like all about it. So and I'm the same way. The Tribal Chief, man, I acknowledge the Tribal Chief. I'll say it, but I also think that Jey Uso's the badass. I don't dislike any of that group. Solo, I can't wait till Solo gets into it more. Awesome, Pete. Awesome group.
He will.
Really, really well done. Those four. Yep. Solo, Jimmy, Jay, and Roman Reigns. Money.
Yep. And I remember watching the interview with Jimmy and Jay, and they asked about the possibility. Have you guys ever wanted to go against each other? And Jay, out of Jay's mouth, he said, it has always been a dream of ours to face each other at WrestleMania.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Now we have this opportunity.
Follow me. Two guys battling each other, going to a fight. The next day, they're friends. At the end of the fight, they're friends.
Yep.
Let's throw Jimmy and Jay in a WrestleMania moment, day one, right? Because we've been since day one, Usos since day one. Throw them in night one. Throw Roman Reigns in night two against Cody Rhodes, whoever you want to throw him in there against. But you're going to see the bloodline reunite. It comes full circle.
But what if they do reunite, but it's after Roman loses? What if that possibility?
They could do that too, but it's either going to be a wake up call for the bloodline, and you're going to see them all together once again. I have a feeling. I just have a feeling.
And I was reading today. There's a good possibility they're bringing Nia Jax back.
Yes,
Nia's family, Tamina's family.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what this. I mean, WWE is not done with the bloodline. No way.
No.
There's no way.
No, you can go so much further with that, man, and you can just keep going with it because there's so many stories you can tell.
Yep.
Especially if you bring in more family members.
Correct.
Especially, man.
Correct.
But so I thought, all in all, the show was really good. You know, there was a couple of downer matches, but it wasn't like, oh my goodness, this is terrible.
Right. There was no really popcorn matches. I got to go get my popcorn. There wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Battle Royal kind of started off, but it came back. It came through.
Yep.
None of the matches really were bad.
Like I said, the only one I thought that was probably even close to being bad was the Shayna and Ronda.
Yeah.
It's just because for me, I just wanted more out of that. I wanted more. If you're going to do MMA style, actually let them do, because those girls are professionals.
Right.
They know what they're doing.
Yep. I just was watching what you gotten back there. Paul Heyman, man. He's brilliant.
That man. You know, and that, I don't know if you watched that First Take interview he did.
Yes. Yes.
He had me rolling when he said, he said, well, what about Bobby Heenan? He's dead. Who cares about him?
Yeah. I was like,
and Jimmy Hart's still alive. So obviously that just proves that God doesn't answer prayers.
Right.
It's like, oh my goodness, he did not just say that.
Right.
But
brilliant.
It's just Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
And
brilliant.
Wow, man, just that guy is a genius.
Yep. No, that was great. It was a great match, a great pay-per-view. So yeah, loved it.
No, I really loved it, man. And anybody else out there, any comments you guys want to leave? Let us know what you think, man. Any questions? You can also catch us on a Huge Pop Wrestling Tuesday nights, Pop's Corner. And I just want to say thank you so much, Huge Pop, for joining me tonight, man.
Thank you, man.
Really enjoy your input. And maybe next time we can just get Nikki D back on here.
Get Nikki D back on there. And maybe we can reach out to Nikki D, because tomorrow night on Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast on Pop's World Order, we have a special guest, Wendell Cooley. Got some experience in the bigs. Can't wait for that. Reek and I'll be on the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast channel. And maybe we can reach out to George and see if he can come on too. It'll be a great time. Rico, thank you for having me on the show. Appreciate
Thank you for joining, man.
Appreciate you, man. And I'll just wait for you in the lobby, man.
All right. Well, to everyone out there, man, have a good night. Be easy. Be good.